August 10th, 2026. Dear persistent me, have you ever set your mind to do something and doubt yourself the whole entire time? It isn't a lack of ability, just a lack of self-esteem. I am good at the things that I'm good at. I know that. I am smart and I learn the things that I need to learn to get where I want to get. I know that. I know that I have the skills to complete the things I want to do. And yet, my belief in myself doesn't exist. I just do things because I'm very persistent about doing things. And what I mean by that is I'm tenacious. I see a goal and I keep going and keep going and keep going. I'm one of those people that when I go into an interview and they ask me, what is my weakness? I say that I'm stubborn. And I am. I don't know when to give up. In an argument, in a fight, in a marriage, in a relationship, anything that I want to accomplish, I don't know how to give up. And that's what I've been experiencing this last couple of days. So I've been designing this cover for this journal. And every time I get close to it being done, I find something to nitpick at. And I don't know if it's that I don't actually think it's perfect or that I'm afraid to put it out there. Either way, I'm persistent with doing it. Either way, I keep tweaking it and keep changing it and keep going over what I think needs to happen. Does it really change? No. But in my mind, it settles something. I just like to keep trying. And in my persistence, I don't let things go when I need to. And today has been that day. I am sitting here and I'm looking at it and I am thinking, oh my gosh, this looks great, but this is perfect, but I can still change this. How can something be perfect and still need to be changed? It doesn't. That's literally my entire brand, right? My brand is Unperfectly Perfect. It's the idea of accepting your perfectness in your imperfections. Recognizing that you are who you are. That is enough. You don't need anything else. And as much as I can accept who I am, I can accept that I'm a perfectionist. And I can accept that I'm tenacious and that I'm stubborn. I can't accept that in my work. And I just think that it's contradictory that I know things don't have to be perfect and that my definition of perfect doesn't even equate to what perfect would be. I am good at seeing things and saying, oh, I can make that better. I can do that better. I can fix that. And I do it not only with projects, I do it with people. Hey, you look like you can need help with this. Let me go ahead and take this on. Why? People go around thinking very little of themselves. And sometimes it's the people who project confidence that are the worst about thinking horribly of themselves. And that was the reason behind my name brand, Unperfectly Perfect. The word isn't even correct. The word is imperfect. And I know that. Again, I know what I know. I know that the word is imperfect. But the reason why I wanted unperfect is because it's accepting that not all things look pretty. Not all things fit into this box. You get to accept it regardless of whether it fits or not. Unperfectly perfect. I have been persistent at working on being unperfectly perfect. And for me, that looks like acknowledging my flaws and acknowledging my wins. And I'm really good at acknowledging my flaws. I'm still working on my wins. I can acknowledge that I fail in many ways. I have to learn how to acknowledge that I also win in a lot of ways. I can be persistent in putting myself down, but I'm not so persistent with lifting myself up. And I think that is the challenge I have to work on, right? If I can be persistent about everything else in this world, why can't I be persistent in lifting myself up? Why can't I be persistent in saying, you've done a great job? You've come so far. There's nothing wrong with me cheering myself on. We talked about this in another podcast, that I have to be my own biggest cheerleader. And again, it's so easy to say and so much harder to do. But what if I took it one bite at a time? What if I started with one thing and was persistent about it? I used to hate my hair. Absolutely hated it. I was taught to hate it. That's the world that I grew up in. I used to have it permed as a little girl. I used to have it braided as a little girl. I had it hot combed as a little girl. My hair was always straight or braided. That's what I knew. And so if you asked me when I looked the most beautiful, it was when my hair was straight. And so for the longest time, I permed it and I permed it and I permed it and I straightened it and straightened it because that's what I thought made me look pretty. I was persistent in saying, this is the standard that I have to meet. And then one day I didn't. I was persistent enough to love my hair. I was persistent enough to accept my hair. And I think that works in other ways too. I am a very loving person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Anybody who knows me knows I'll get the shirt off my back. I'm persistent about that. I am persistent about making sure others feel seen and heard. That is so important to me. And so everything I do, every way that I lead, says to put others first that way. To make sure they don't feel what I feel when I'm beating myself up. I'm persistent about that. As persistent as I am with helping others reach that point in their lives, I'm not always persistent about helping myself feel that way. Somehow I've decided that if I pour into others consistently, persistently, that it will just magically make me feel better. If you're listening, you know that's not true. You know that you could be persistent with taking care of somebody else's needs and completely ignoring your own. And it doesn't help. It just leaves you empty. It leaves you without someone to take care of you. And we hear that, right? We hear that often, that you have to learn how to take care of yourself. And for some of us, that means like, hey, I ate today, I took a shower today. But what if taking care of yourself was more than that? What if it was acknowledging that you did a good job? What if it was acknowledging that you look good? What if it was acknowledging that you're helpful and you're kind? What if it was acknowledging that you're pretty and you're smart? What if being persistent looked like lifting ourselves up versus putting ourselves down? I am so good at so many things, and I'm so bad at acknowledging it. Tonight, I had a surprise phone call from one of my kiddos, and I didn't think I would hear from her. I thought that once we went our separate ways, it would be done. And tonight, I got a phone call from her. And her face lit up, and my face lit up, and my kid's face lit up, my other kid's face lit up, and we were all just so happy and excited about it. She's doing well. But in order to get to doing well, she had to be persistent. I'm sure there was a persistency in her asking to call me. Hey, this person is really important to me. I really want to talk to them. How do we make that work? And even in my response to her, before we got off the phone, it was keep doing good. I need you to keep doing well, because if you keep doing well, you'll be rewarded with these phone calls. And then you can talk to me. Persistency. We expect everyone around us to be consistent and persistent about how they treat us. And we don't do it for ourselves. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of letting myself down. I'm tired of telling myself I can't do something and I won't do something. I'm tired of being the biggest naysayer to myself. Yes, there are bullies out there. No one's a bigger bully to me than I am. No one is quick to cut me down quicker than I am. People think that they can say things that are mean to hurt me. And it's not that they can't, it's that I've done worse. Persistently. So what do I do to change that? What do I do to combat the fact that I'm not as bad in my head as I say that I am? Some people would say that you make a list of all the things that you're good at, and you post it on your mirror, and you repeat it to yourself. Affirmations. I'm horrible with affirmations. I see them, and I recognize why they're good, but it's difficult for me to look myself in the mirror and tell me those things. I don't believe them. So maybe what I do is I start off with something I do believe. I'm really good at picking out colors. I'm really good at color coding my closet. It's a small thing, but it's a positive. I'm really good at making sure I have the necessities in my house. I'm really good at making sure my bills get paid. There are things that I do really well. And while they seem boring and dull, the idea is I'm building a foundation so I can keep praising myself, raising myself up. We start with the small things to get to the big things. We don't start running. You start scooting and crawling and then taking steps and then running. I want to learn how to scoot. I want to learn how to tell myself that I'm good at something that I'm good at. I want to be proud of me. I want to see myself and say, hey, you made it. I want to see myself and tell the little girl inside of me, we did it. We accomplished our goal. And we were good at it. It's easy to get down on yourself, and it's easy to see all the negative. It's all around us all the time, and if you struggle with mental health, it ruminates in your head. You just keep hearing it. It just keeps playing. It's hard to shut it off. But what if, for every time you start to ruminate, you think of just one good thing? Even if it's hey, I recognize I'm ruminating right now. You give yourself the acknowledgement that you're doing something well. Not perfect, but well. So today, that was my bite of pie. My bite of pie said, hey, we're going to get this done. And it is perfect. It is as perfect as it can be. Now it's time to get it listed, to get it done. I'm taking that bite of pie. So I uploaded it. And I had the opportunity to wait and say like, hey, now that you've got it uploaded on Amazon, how about we release it at a later date? And I said, no, because if I choose to release it at a later date, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. And I'm excited I am thrilled, anxious, nervous, scared, happy that I'm taking that leap, that I'm giving myself that chance to say, hey, I did a good job. It's ready. It's done. It's complete. It didn't have to be perfect. It just had to be written. And I wrote it. I wrote it. I designed it. I put thought process into it. Because I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I'm doing. I have these conversations because I know what it feels like to be in those situations. I know what it feels like to be hurting and to be upset and to feel lonely in a room full of people. I know what it's like to go to work and wear a mask that says, hi, I'm happy, I'm doing this, while the inside feeling so much dread for your day. I know what that's like. So, I'm acknowledging it. And I'm hoping that in my acknowledging it, you feel like you have a voice to acknowledge it too. You feel like, hey, she really does get it. This isn't just therapy talk. This isn't just someone blowing smoke up my ass. This is somebody who really gets it. I understand that. I understand being persistent in so many things, except for the one thing I need to be persistent in. Myself. I get it. And I hope with getting it that we both make the effort to change that. That we both say, you know, we deserve better than that. We deserve a little bit more fight for ourselves. So today, I fought for myself. I fought for you too. The journal's for all of us. But I said, it's perfect. It's done. It's not perfect because of all the parts that came together. It's perfect because I did it. And again, that's what's important. That's what we get so caught up in. For us, perfect has to mean all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. It's in a row. What if it just means you did it? Perfect looks like I did it. I'm unperfectly perfect. I am great at what I'm great at. And the things that I struggle at. But they make me me. So it's perfect. So just remember, today is another page in the story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be written. And before you close your journal tonight, ask yourself, what was your bite of pie today? Until tomorrow, love you loud.